Hi, this is Dave Hurlbert from the Health Resource Group, along with my friend Ken.
Tell me.
Ken is going to answer the questions to this important presentation that we've put together. Wait, don't tell me. Weight management from the contact reports by the Health Resource Group. Question number one, what can be done if one is carrying around extra weight?
So the best option for people who struggle with weight is to stimulate the metabolism and maintain a balanced blood sugar level. According to Contact Report 792, any surplus of carbohydrates, including sugar, is converted into fat and it is stored. This process is done by the liver according to the Contact Report 688. This means that having a high blood sugar level can lead to the carrying of extra fat, and even if it's temporarily high, it will contribute to weight gain.
Question two, Ken, what happens if one does not maintain a balanced blood sugar level?
Oh boy, where do we start here? I suppose a good place to start is that the pancreas secretes insulin when our body's blood sugar levels are too high, sort of like a protective mechanism that takes glucose, that is to say sugar, out of the bloodstream, because if it stays in the bloodstream, it increases glycation. For example, you could think of glycation as syrup. When you get it on your fingers, it gets sticky. Let's say you did not have access to running water and it is stuck to your fingers all day. This is happening in the body, which is increasing the inflammation. Inflammation causes so much systemic damage in the body, but most important of all, it stresses the mitochondria out. If the mitochondria gets too much sugar, it's like a human being getting too much water and they don't perform as well and they shut down because they're all clogged up with sugar. Just like us, we need water, but you can't drown us or we'll die. Mitochondria is key for metabolism. You can look at Contact Report 621 on this formula called Inca Gold, which is amaranth and quinoa, and it helps mitochondria and the metabolism.
Question number three, what can we do to help our pancreas?
Well, bitter substances such as chicory, sage, dandelion, endive, Turkish rocket, artichokes, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, as well as other leafy greens such as spinach, Swiss chard, cabbage, sesame, radicchio, as well as things like grapefruit and olives, bitter melons, bitter chocolate, asparagus. All these things have bitter substances that will not only help the vital pancreas to function, but will also help the stomach, the liver, and the gallbladder, according to Contact Report 757. The liver stimulates the stomach, the gallbladder, and the pancreas to release their substances such as digestive secretions and bile acids. The pancreas also contains enzymes for all nutrients in its juices to help insulin control the blood sugar level.
Number four, what happens to your blood sugar when it's not maintained and balanced?
So a good example is if someone eats a candy bar. This spikes the blood sugar. Insulin is then secreted by the pancreas to bring the sugar level down, but it puts out too much insulin into the blood, and a little while later they will experience the so-called sugar crash, where the blood sugar levels have fallen rapidly because so much insulin was secreted, and now the body is not in balance. The low blood sugar triggers the hormone ghrelin, which makes the brain have cravings for food because now it needs to bring those blood sugar levels back up, even though the insulin is still high. We then eat again and create another blood sugar spike, and the cycle continues, and the hunger continues, and the weight increases. Additionally, the energy levels of the person are low because the mitochondria are malfunctioning and are not creating much ATP energy due to the glycation, which creates the tiredness and the fatigue and makes one feel like a blob. The inflammation levels in the brain can also cause consciousness disturbances. And just remember, taste buds detecting bitters in your mouth send nerve signals to stimulate certain digestive secretions. Likewise, tasting something sweet in your mouth sends nerve signals to stimulate certain digestive secretions, including insulin. Artificial sweeteners can stimulate insulin secretions, causing an increase in insulin resistance, even though the blood sugar doesn't rise. Yes, even monk sugar can cause the insulin to rise, albeit to a lesser extent than pure sugar. Having high insulin can cause you to store every little rise in blood sugar as well.
That's what you call the bittersweet truth. Question number 5. How does high blood sugar affect mental health?
So the spikes and the dips in blood sugar can cause all sorts of disturbances, such as anxiety, fear, moodiness, depression, and can even affect the personality due to the inflammation in the brain, like mentioned previously. Spikes in the blood sugar can also cause tyrosine levels to drop in the brain, causing effects on memory and mood. Taking L-tyrosine can increase the mood and the memory, as well as the physical energy during such spikes, and it is also recommended for a healthy short-term natural stimulant if one needs increased performance, especially if you are experiencing one of those sugar crashes. L-tyrosine can be read about in Contact Report 619.
Question 6. What is the best thing we can do to keep our blood sugar levels more in balance and manage our weight?
Fiber. Eating fiber before a meal or as the first course of a meal line the intestines with a fiber mesh that slows down the absorption of sugar as well as other substances. In Contact Report 619, it was recommended to eat psyllium seeds or psyllium seed shells in the morning on an empty stomach as well as in the evening, an hour before dinner to stimulate the metabolism and prevent cravings for snacks. But eating psyllium can act as a fiber before a meal, slowing down any spike in blood sugar that may happen during the meal, which can hinder the inflammation it causes in diseases such as rheumatism, which was also mentioned in Contact Report 768. Any fiber will do the trick at slowing down the blood sugar, however.
Question 7. How does manufactured food fail us?
So studies have shown how genetically modified foods cause cancer, organ failure, liver damage, kidney damage, allergies, etc. But what they fail to tell is the fact that the majority of GMO foods are modified to withstand larger and larger doses of poisons from herbicides, insecticides, fungicides, pesticides, etc. While the helpful GMO foods that are developed for better nutrition have such a small market share that it's not helping, these toxic chemicals being used on the crops are having a damaging effect on human health, as well as the fauna and flora on Earth. These slides from Andrew Niehaus' article show just how much the levels of poisons have increased over the last few decades.
That's very bad news for the number of cancers. It says 5% are genetic, the other are in the environment. And as Billy said, there's 12 million chemical toxic substances in the environment. This is a very important thing to remember about natural foods. Number 8, does food order matter?
So one of the diet-related changes we can make is to eat in a certain order to help keep blood sugar levels balanced. Eat your fiber first, then your proteins and fats, then starches, and very last sugary foods or desserts, if eaten at all. The good news, this isn't hard. You don't have to avoid anything that you aren't already used to eating. Out of the order of the foods just mentioned, however, fiber first matters the most. I know some folks have mixed food meals, but if that is the case, the most important thing to remember is eat fiber first. If eating, say, for example, Mexican, ask for a bowl of vegetables as an appetizer just to get the fiber in. And then if you want to have these tortilla chips and salsa, Eat it after the meal, but I bet you won't have the desire to eat too many, if any at all.
Yes, and have a salad, or if you're not in a Mexican place, and don't get into the idea of drinking a sweet or an alcoholic drink at the beginning of the meal. Salads are best.
Right?
Number 9, the food pyramid. Is this food pyramid valid?
So start with the vegetables at the bottom of the pyramid, since they contain a lot of fiber and polyphenols. Then move up to the proteins and fats, and then starches and fruits and sweets at the top. And remember to gradually eat smaller portions as you rise to the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, that's self-evident and it's very logical. Number 10, what other changes can we make to our diet?
So vinegar is a great addition to the diet if it's not already common in your diet. It can be in the form of vegetables that are in vinegar, such as vinegar pickles. Having a little bit of vinegar and some water before a meal can reduce both the sugar spike as well as the insulin secretion by the pancreas. This is because the acetic acid in vinegar causes the muscle to take up more sugar for energy. The pancreas doesn't have to work as hard because the vinegar is shuttling some of the blood sugar into the muscles already. The pancreas doesn't need to secrete as much insulin then to bring down the blood sugar, since it is already being taken up. If insulin comes out in smaller amounts, the cravings will also be reduced. Additionally, if apple cider vinegar is used, it contains pectin, a dietary fiber that can help slow the digestion, but also helps lower high cholesterol and regulates blood pressure and helps fight fungi and bacterial infections, according to Ratgeber 3. Vinegar can help stop cravings and hunger, and inevitably means that you will burn more fat. Just make sure it is in water so you don't damage your teeth.
It seems logical to suggest that we have a pickle with our salad.
For sure.
Great. Number 11, do we really have to go to the gym to lose weight?
The best time for exercising is right after eating, so that you are actually burning those calories you ate by getting around and moving. It can be chores and, just walking out in nature. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And walking out in nature can help balance the consciousness and the body's health. It's important not to go to the extreme in this regard, as too much is unhealthy. 20 to 30 minutes of walking are fully sufficient for the necessary physical exercise needs, according to Pata and Contact Report 371. And also in Ratgeber 4, it had mentioned that the terpenes in the forest air can strengthen the immune system. So if you decide to take a nice walk in the forest, make sure you take protective measures if there are ticks in your area.
That's great advice. I don't have to drive 15 miles to exercise for 15 minutes. Number 12, any other words of advice, Ken?
Yes, if you eat breakfast, don't start out with sweet, sugary items or fruit. Preferably eat fiber, protein, and fat for breakfast, and save the fruits and sweets for later in the day. If you're really craving a bowl of fruit in the morning, though, you can try grinding chia seeds, flax seeds, amaranth seeds, and quinoa seeds together in a little water, like a bullet blender. Put that in a bowl and then slice some fruit on top of it. And if you're really into it, maybe put some like cottage cheese or yogurt on top of that. Mix it together, and all the fiber from the little seeds will help blunt the effect of the sugar because it has so much fiber in it. Another tip is if you have a desire for a snack during the day, try to eat a fibrous protein, fat type of snack. Hazelnuts are a good choice for all three of those things.
That's very good advice. Thank you. We're now completed our presentation. We're open for questions from Wait, Don't Tell Me. Thank you, Ken. This is Dave signing off.